Ashe and grand rising to you all, my people, wherever you are or wherever you might be. A few days ago, I woke up early one grand rising with missing Donna-Lee Donaldson on my mind, along with a melody in my head which goes like this: bring back, bring back, bring back Donna-Lee. Dead or alive, bring back her body. And it inspired me right there and then to get up out of my bed. Get up right away. And while the rest of my household was still fast asleep, it inspired me to pick up my old box guitar and write a few more lines as a message in song to go along with the melody, which I did as a tribute to her memory. It's posted here online, so please take a listen at your convenience. It's right here on my channel. And also, in my most humble way, I did it with the honest intention of hopefully joining, or if you prefer, hopefully uniting in spirit and in truth with the other millions of my fellow caring and concerned Jamaicans and fellow caring and concerned people the world over that are aware of her case, because this is now an international case. Here I am in Canada talking about it like it's right down the street. And all those that are keeping, it inspired me to join and unite with all those that are keeping the fire burning, all those that are keeping the pressure on the unjust and excessively corrupt system, all those that are keeping the candles lit, the tears flowing, the prayers ascending up into the heavens, and the intentions advancing into the cosmos in hope for some form of justice and resolution for missing Donna-Lee Donaldson. I did it in hope of some form of justice and resolution for her beloved mother and the rest of her family. I did it in hope for some form of justice and resolution from the now exposed and evident, excessively corrupt so-called Jamaican justice system. In fact, the Jamaican so-called justice system has proven itself to be, it has now proven itself to the entire world to be so excessively and diabolically corrupt that the majority of the so-called leaders, and please note that I said the majority of the so-called leaders and not all the leaders, because logically and reasonably activated common sense will affirm that had it not been for the very few good ones that are there, the extreme minority and upright ones that are still there, the system and the entire country as a whole would have already completely implode, collapse, and destroy itself. So those majority of whom I speak that are in authority, and as such they are responsible for the execution of the system's justice, have proven themselves to Jamaica and to the world at large that not only do they lack sympathy and are devoid of basic humanity, they have proven themselves to the world that not only do they lack basic human feelings, not only do they lack basic human empathy, not only do they lack basic human integrity, not only do they lack basic human decency, you name it or you name them, but they have proven and are proving themselves to the world that they are stone cold, heartless, and not only are their conscience seared, but they have become conscienceless. They have become robotic, programmable devices, and consequently, they are shameless. You can't shame them. To call them out even by name or identify them, do nothing to them. They have none, that part of them dead. It would be a waste of time, a waste of our breath trying to call them out. Now allow me to simplify this point of fact even more. We all will admit that we don't have to be a rocket scientist or a brain surgeon to know that water stream downhill and river run downhill, if you will. River run down the hill. And that if the head of the river, we call it riverhead where we come from in Jamaica, riverhead. If the riverhead or the head of the river or the head of the stream is dirty, if it is corrupt, if it is muddy like when we say river come down, then naturally the bottom of the stream must be dirty as well, and vice versa. So when you hear about corruption in high places, use the example of the river or of the stream to get the true meaning and definition of that saying. Simply put, corruption at the bottom of society is coming from the top. It is coming from the so-called elites and the higher-ups. Just like trickle-down, what they call trickle-down economics, there is also trickle-down corruption. And also, please remember that the thing called honor, this is very important to remember, the thing called honor, not just because you call somebody honor, you are forced to call them honor. The thing called honor is something that is earned. Honor, respect, and high being and esteem is something that is earned and not something that you are forced to convey on someone by decree. Oh, you're honorable this or you're honorable that or he's honorable. No, that is something that is earned. You only can be forced to do it against your will. So, I listened to a video. Yeah, actually. And, not watch because it's so. Anyway, I listened to a video on a channel called True Jamaica Buzz. And the video is titled, Donna-Lee's Mom Warns Andrew Holness. But for your information, those who don't know, that's the PM for Jamaica, to put pressure on Noel and Cathy-Ann to return Donna-Lee's body. That's the title of the video. And I must admit that just the title of this video, let alone the content, I find quite touching. It's just like the first time when I heard Donna-Lee's mom. That's why I just got involved, really. And doing my little, to transmit thoughts and energies into the universe to get some feed forward so that justice from the universe will be served. So when the first time I heard her interview on a popular radio station down there, it touched me. Yes, I must be honest with you, it really got to me. And I must admit that just the title of this video, let alone the content, I find quite touching, and I felt it for Donna-Lee's mom, Miss Sophia Love. And I also find it very disgraceful. And before you rush to the wrong conclusion, please let me hastily explain what I mean by I find it disgraceful. Not that the video, the title or the content of the video or the presenter is disgraceful. Not at all. Please don't misconstrue. I will try my best here so you get it when I say disgraceful. I'm going to get to it. Please stay with me. Not at all. But from the Mystic Philosopher's perspective, when a member of a society, in this case a citizen of a country and a mother of her missing child that is presumed dead by being murdered by her boyfriend who took her out of her bed, and the boyfriend is also a prominent member of the country's law enforcement, a Jamaican police officer, when she has to be writing, pleading, and begging the so-called leader, the prime minister, and supposedly the shepherd of the country, for him to intercede, for him to show some mercy, for him to show some sympathy, for him to show some empathy, and for him to use his influence and intervene on her behalf, just that she might get the dead body of her missing daughter back. That is what I find extremely disgraceful on the part of the so-called leader and prime minister, because it should never have come to that. For if he was indeed a good, caring human being, a good, caring leader, a good, caring prime minister, a good, caring shepherd, if you will, he would have done so already, and without even having to be asked by the child's mother. The Adamic race history and holy book, also known as the Christian Holy Bible, spoke of and on the good shepherd that went in search of one of his what? Sheep. And I quote, "What man of you, having 100 sheep, if he lose one of them, does not leave the 99 in the wilderness and go after that which is lost until he find it? And when he found it, he laid it on his shoulders, rejoicing. And when he cometh home, he calleth together his friends and neighbors, saying unto them, Rejoice with me, I have found my sheep, which was lost." I just read from the book called Luke, chapter 15, verse 4 to 6. I read the King James Version. In fact, here it is from another translation, more current so-called English, or current English translation. And I quote, known as the New International Version, NIV. And I quote the same scriptures again. It said here, "Suppose one of you has 100 sheep and lose one of them. Doesn't he not leave the 99 in the open country and go after the lost sheep until he finds it? And when he finds it, he joyfully puts it on his shoulders, and goes home. Then he calls his friends and neighbors together and says, Rejoice with me, I have found my lost sheep." Unquote. Now, from either Mystic Philosopher's perspective, and symbolically speaking as well, if not literally speaking, missing Donna-Lee Donaldson is one of his sheep, aka is one of his subjects, are supposed to be one of his sheep or one of his subjects, if you prefer. And her mother, Miss Sophia Lugg, is also one of his sheep, one of his subjects as well. And as Jesus Christ himself, according to the scriptures that I've just read, explained in this parable, or if you prefer in this story, a good leader, a good prime minister, a good shepherd would not only do whatever it takes to find one of his lost sheep. The sheep mother would not have to come begging, come pleading, come humbling itself or herself in order to what? Hopefully provoke him. You can embarrass some people because they don't have no feeling or empathy, as I said before, but maybe provoke him or provoke them, the shepherd, into taking action and doing the right thing. But he would also take time out to offer some words of what? Comfort, as I said, book said, comfort ye my people. He would take time out to offer some words of comfort, because assumingly he's a father himself. Comfort. He would take time out to comfort the ones that are ailing as well, which in this case is what? Donna-Lee's mother. He would take time out. But you cannot expect from people that they don't have any help. But anyhow. And also, in that video, the narrator played the audio of one of Jamaica's most prominent and high-profile attorney at law by the name of Christopher Townsend, who is the lawyer of the accused murderer, namely Constable Noel Maitland. And in the audio, Christopher Townsend, is complaining to the world that his client is being denied justice. Can you imagine? A man to whom all the evidence is pointing and is even charged by his own comrade, his own squaddies, his own co-workers, his own people, member of his own force, for murder, not just miss it, his charge. And here's a man come complaining that this man is being denied justice. And prior to being complaining, I read an article on a website called temponetworks.com, wherein he, the same thousand, is proudly and boldly proclaiming to the world that his client is innocent. And I quote from the article: one of Jamaica's most prominent attorney at law, Christopher Townsend, who is representing Constable Noel Maitland, is maintaining that his client is innocent, even as the police constable was on Tuesday slapped with a murder charge in relation to the disappearance of social media influencer Donna-Lee Donaldson. And quote, they are bad, so the man innocent. Now, in my short and spontaneous video tribute mentioned earlier, called Bring Back Donna-Lee, I took the liberty on Donna-Lee's behalf, and please note that I took the liberty on Donna-Lee's behalf and not necessarily on her mother or on her family's behalf, because they are Christian and I, the Mystic Philosopher, am not. They possibly would not have given me permission to do what I did and what I am about to repeat and will continue to do. So I took the liberty on Donna-Lee's behalf and invoke and publicly broadcast a curse on those that have hurt and are responsible, on those that are responsible for hurting her and for her demise. Ashe. In fact, please let me repeat what I said and petitioned my source, our source, my ancestral source of spiritual justice and the spirits of my most honorable African ancestors. Let me repeat. I said, to all whom this may concern, no curse be all you who know you have hurt Donna-Lee. Her innocent blood will rest upon your head. If I might now add, her innocent blood will rest upon your head like burning coals of fire. And that of your picnic, and that of all your children, none shall be exempt, born and unborn. For the rest of your life, or for the rest of your lives, you all shall never be happy. You think anything better than conscience about you? And wickedness will haunt you? You don't see anything yet. I, the Mystic Philosopher, says so. And just the mention of her name, the mention of Donna-Lee's name, will haunt your conscience like a ghost, like an evil spirit, or if you say in Jamaica, like a duppy, an evil duppy. Can all duppy bad? For in your hearts and in your souls, you all know that you are damn guilty. Your names will bring only shame upon your family and your community. Everybody will be afraid and ashamed to say they were ever associated with you all. It will happen. The longest liver will tell the most. As a disgrace you are to our human race. Or you are a disgrace to our human race. That is how you shall go down in history. Your names are among those that will live in infamy. And so after listening to that audio from that prominent, big-time lawyer, who regardless of guilty or not, I'm told will make you walk away from your case. After hearing that prominent lawyer and lawyer of the accused murderer, Noel Maitland, I have again taken the liberty on Donna-Lee's behalf. On Donna-Lee's behalf, not on the family, not necessarily on them. They might not agree with this. But on Donna-Lee's behalf. And petition Ashe, our African and ancestral source, my African and ancestral source of spiritual justice, for swift, speedy, retributive justice on all those that are guilty and know that they know that they are guilty and are responsible for her disappearance, are responsible for her cover-up, and are responsible for her demise. And I, the mystic philosopher, will also hereby petition Ashe, our African and ancestral source, my African and ancestral source of spiritual justice, Ma'af, for swift spiritual retributive justice on all those that will knowingly, consciously defend, knowingly collaborate to defend, and are defending and are knowingly collaborating to defend all those that are guilty and of their evils. I am the mystic philosopher. Ashe, Ashe, Ashe. I say.